We am live?
We am live. Sorry, guys. Wasn't watching the clock. We're actually having a conversation real quick, and I noticed, it's 8:16. Oops. We're having some technical difficulties. We were kind of trying to figure those out. If you're familiar with the live streams, we've been having issues with his connection, and it looks like he might have to dip out of his camera at some point if he starts lagging, but he'll still be here. So, guys, of course, last week, thanks to Joey Ganoda for filling in for the sick boy over here. I'm sorry, for sick little Sayla last week.
That thumbnail was hilarious, by the way.
Best thumbnail ever. Yeah, speaking of which, totally not Marlon in the chat says, boy, howdy, these thumbnails. Like, the thumbnails are the best part of my week. And guys, originally, if you're not paying attention to the thumbnail, if you look closely to the mobile workers in the background, the blue one actually has the 49ers helmet on, and then there's actually a Kansas City Chiefs logo on the side of the orange one. You just got to actually just kind of look at it. But one of the reference the fact that Super Bowl is probably still going on. I didn't actually know. So it's near the end, but they were tied up from the last time I looked. So Arturo J. Briano says thumbnails are awesome. Yay. Jerry Leal is here. Good. Hey, Jerry. So we're going to be doing episode 4 this week. Is it farewell or is it goodbye, Artesia?
Goodbye, Artesia is
okay.
How they have it at least.
I was just making sure I was making sure I didn't have the wrong one. But this week, as punishment for missing out, he's going to be doing it, and I'm going to be eating queso and some chips. So what came out on your channel this week? Yeah, so he's going to be burping up a storm with Dr. Peppers.
Anyway, what did come out this week? Shoot, I forget. Bale was one of the first. Was Monday's video, wasn't it?
I believe so.
And then the V2 weapon set was Fridays.
Yep. Let's see. What was the? You had asked a question in the bio review that I made a comment on.
Oh yeah, I was like, I was wondering who basically started the build add-on parts. If that was IBO or if that was something that was from Build Fighters, and you were like, Build Fighters came out before IBO.
Yes, because you don't know these things. Oh, good. 49ers are winning. Not that I care. The Texans took themselves out in such a handy way. I was done with football at that point. Though up on my channel this week, we still had Masterpiece Monday with the next chunk of the Devastator or Constructicons, which those seem to be dropping off in views. So I think like just either less people are seeing them or not caring. But either way, go check those out. There'll be another one tomorrow. Obviously, we got 6 of them to get through.
Yeah.
But and then I did the 30-minute missions kit.
Oh yeah,
that was a fun review, plus the little option parts. And then finally, everybody on the normal side got to see the War Greymon review that the patrons got to see like way back at the beginning of January.
Yeah. I was kind of confused when I first saw that. I was like, wait, I thought that video came out already. And then I remembered, oh yeah, patrons.
Yeah, it came out for you. Which design came first? The 1.5 Gundam came way before Bael. It's just funny that they had this very similar design. Because I made that comparison in my review for it as well. Let's see. Things that are coming out. I do have one Gunpla and some Transformers at the moment. And then I have a Transformers kit that'll be coming out the week after. I don't want to... It's like, I'm trying to get caught up on my side, and I'm actually still waiting on my patron to all go vote on the next Patreon pick. You're the only one who has so far. So if you guys are out there, go check it out. They're like Elseworld versions of each other, kind of. Except that Bael is significantly more important, I guess. I wouldn't
the
say
one Gundam to
powerful.
rule them all.
By the way, not a soda. That's a rather strong beer. That's why he's leading tonight. Okay, so what else is going on in the world? We got a whole lot of reveals this week on a few different things. I don't know if you saw the Hello Kitty Chogokin kind of figures that are coming out.
Was that the one where there's a Gundam one and a Char Zaku? Oh,
yep.
Excuse me. There's
yes. Those were so cute. I had to go ahead and order one.
Nice.
You'll have to wait and see which one. And there was a video that accidentally went live the other day. It wasn't supposed to. It was supposed to be set to private. And then I looked down. I was like, hey, why didn't that have views? Oops. Oops. So for those who saw that, good for you. That was technically meant for the patrons. So they're going to see that. And then y'all will see the reviews of those particular items I was referencing later. So that's the thing. Not going to lie, I like the Char one more. It just kind of fits. It does. I like the Char kitty, as I called it. But yeah, it was fun. So, do you want to tell everybody why you were sick last week?
Why I was sick?
Yeah.
I had like a horrific headache.
Yeah. He's pregnant. No, I'm just kidding. He's expecting.
No,
Joey did a good job filling in for you, though.
Yeah.
Joey and I always have a good time. So, Joey, I expect that if he ever dodges out again, you're going to have to cover.
Yep, you're my permanent sub now.
Yep, he's a sub. That sounds weird.
I'm just going to, I'll just leave it there.
So I'm just going to we're going to wait just a few minutes like normal until we get a few more people watching, which one person just disappeared. So that makes me sad. I worked hard on that thumbnail and nobody wants to come talk to us.
Telling you, there's that game show that's apparently really popular that's going on right now.
Game show. Oh, I did also put up the poll last week asking about the next charity contest. So the actual announcement for that will come out sometime this month. He's working on the logo right now. We had to really work out a couple design issues we were having. We're still working on that. So once the design is solidified, obviously that's when Nate and I will do the reveal of the actual contest that's coming up, since Nate is my partner on this one. And actually, he's going to be participating again. So if you are a participant and or winner, you get the availability to become a judge. But if you're a judge, you can't judge again. You have to go back out into the world after the fact. Yes, I know you are too, Mr. Saralee. Yeah, because you were a judge, so you couldn't judge again this time. So yeah, you had to be kicked out. Now you could come back next year and judge again, but this year you have to participate. So that way you get the experience on both sides of the fence. And now with your skills gone better and you see how the contest is going to work, you can try to earn our favor. Just kidding. Like, everybody's going to be like, he's your friend. You're going to totally vote for his stuff. I'm more critical of his stuff than anybody. It's like, and plus that's why I have other judges. I'm not going to just, do it on my own and just, have everybody like, oh, he's just playing favorites. And I'm like, just because I like to save on shipping doesn't mean I'll purposely pick somebody who lives close that I know and could deliver in person. Might hop in on that now that I feel more comfortable with my building skills. Cool. And yeah, this contest is going to have very much looser rules. Like, there'll be a much bigger ground that everybody can play in. I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So look forward to that. I look forward to another contest. I actually really enjoy them, except for the sheer amount of stress of trying to choose everybody or go through all of the entries and stuff like that. And given that this one's going to be worldwide, we're going to be looking probably through a lot more. It's only 45 minutes away. That's true. Yeah, I know, but we could also meet up somewhere. Speaking of meetups, guys, once again, I will promote Space Cadets Gaming. I don't know why it's gaming, but it is. In the Woodlands off of Robinson Road. Every other Saturday, we do Gundam build meets. So if you're in the greater Houston area, come on out. I'll be promoting it pretty much every week. The next one is on the 15th. So if you're totally done with Valentine's Day and you need to escape your boo and you want to build some Gunpla, come on by. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, so we've only got 6 people watching. Go ahead and start.
Okay, so just start her up. Okay. Okay.
Didn't push the gas button enough. Push the bubble. Push the bubble.
My lawnmower is exactly like that, so I know what that's all about.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we are on episode 4, Goodbye Artasia. We open at the tower at the Zeon's home, and it's not looking so good. It's got vines growing all over it. Looks like it's been abandoned for like God knows how long.
Yeah, it's definitely overgrown with vines and whatnot. It almost looks like decrepit.
Yeah. It's like I have here mentioned it's like it's overgrown and desolate looking. And we can hear that Haman is having a conversation with Estrella. Is that how it's pronounced?
Estrella, yeah.
And we hear that Madame Rose Lucia, I think that's
Rosa Lucia,
has passed away.
The Wicked Witch of the West is dead.
Yeah. Which, we'd be a lot happier to hear about this, except for the fact that we're also hearing that basically this is the first time she's heard about this. Australia has heard about this. And she's going on, it's like, yeah, they don't tell me anything here.
Yeah. I don't even know anything about my children, how they're doing.
Yeah, and she is looking bad. She's pale. It looks like because she had long hair before, right? Just worn up in a bun or something.
I think her hair was very similar to Hamon's, kind of usually up in a bun.
So it looks like her hair's been cut because it looks like it's down, but really short, scraggly looking.
She had a Rapunzel adventure while there alone. Eventually, she had to cut it off.
Yeah, except I don't think we had a happy ending with that. You also see like a tray of medicine and stuff like that, and she's just looking really, really bad. And it's frankly kind of heartbreaking just seeing her. And they start, reminiscing about, the good old days. And she was asking how things are at Club Eden.
Yeah.
And Haman says, like, oh, it's kind of rowdy. There's some occasional brawls, but it's same old, same old. And she's like, oh, that brings me back. And we get a flashback to when she was still a singer over there. And we see a very young Zeon Zoom Daikun walking in, looking just really, really tired, basically.
Yeah, I remember when he walked in all exhausted.
And she's talking about how it's like, I just wanted to show him some kindness. And then basically they fell in love, and it's kind of sweet. You point out to me that in the background of one of the shots, you can see a very young Ramba.
Oh, just you wait. I'm trying to pull it up. I'm trying to pull it up. Hold on.
Who's making just the absolute best facial expression.
Wait, here it comes. There we go.
Yay!
Just wow. That's just fantastic. I was like, oh my God. Young Ramba.
That's some good stuff there. But
okay. So I know we talked about this like early on. Are they related? Because they look remarkably similar and worked in the same place in the same field.
I don't think so. I don't remember. I haven't really delved too deep in it, but I feel like I would have noticed something like that. I think they're just friends, and they happen to,
be identical.
Yeah, I mean but that doesn't happen in GUNDAM. There's never identical characters
until this episode.
Spoilers! You're getting ahead of yourself.
Well, I always wondered because I'd seen a GIF or screenshot of a moment that happens later in the episode, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" So obviously, I'm learning as we go, but part of me wonders if at any point they had wanted to try to pull a switcheroo with these two. Like, I think they could have. Like, every now and then, like, switch out Hamon and get her out to have a real life every now and then, once a month. Do a favor for a guard,
That would have been interesting.
Just, work the shaft a little bit.
Can't take you anywhere.
I'm just saying, like, they look good. They look so similar. Similar build, blonde hair, blue-eyed, similar voice. Just to take her place for like an evening or a day. I get that she's basically a prisoner of the zombies and Dakin's ex, but it's something,
Well, I think also the implication is that their faces must be different enough that people would recognize her, because we see in later episodes that there are basically spies all over the place trying to keep an eye on the family of Xianzum Daikun.
And we see how well that works.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was getting at. It's like, and realistically, odds are she's, other than being like brought food or occasional medical care, I doubt anybody bothered to check on her, like other than to make sure if she didn't leave, Well,
I mean, we even saw it was the previous episode for me, but it was 2 episodes ago for you, I guess.
Yep.
Like when the Federation military, quote unquote, showed up to take the kids away.
Yeah,
they didn't do a whole lot to try to stop them, other than panic a little bit.
Yeah, but I think after that they probably locked her down effectively. But it's been what did we say, 4.5 years or 4 years or so? Because it almost seemed like there was some time passage between the last episode and this, but that doesn't make sense. But either way, continue.
Okay.
Oh, I think at that point we go to the intro.
Yep. When we come back from the opening, we see 2 mobile workers running at each other. We see an orange one and a blue one. Ramba finally has his first quote unquote mobile suit.
I call it Bluey.
And they're just wailing on each other. And it's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, so actually very nice choreographed, quick fight, Very Rock'em Sock'em Robots, though.
But you get a real sense of the weight of the mobile suits with the way they animate them, as well as just sort of the power behind them. Just when they smash their arms together, you can practically feel it. At least that's the feeling that I got from it. So it's just really impressive. And then Ramba speaking of Rock'em Sock'em Robots, knocks the head off.
Yep, that's why I was going there.
And then we see a screen that says the damage to the head unit is unmeasurable.
Yeah, of course it's immeasurable. It came off.
Yeah.
But hey, unlike a gun tank, it doesn't just explode when the head gets taken off. Seems like a pretty bad weak point to have literally everything run through the head. The big obvious target up top.
Yeah.
Was it a different intro? No, I think it was the same intro we've gotten for a little while.
Yeah, it's still the first intro. I think we're going to be switching over to the second one soon, though, because we're kind of changing arcs soon.
Well, no, it was either I think every 2 episodes it changes. I could be wrong, because it usually summarizes the stuff that happens in those episodes, but doesn't look like it gets too much further past that point. So, I mean, we see a lot of what happens in this episode in this intro, and same thing with last episode. So, I think it's every other episode, or every 2 episodes, I should say.
I want to say we've been on the same episode or same opening since the first one, but maybe I'm misremembering.
You weren't here last week. Yep. How would you know?
Dozel is there and is really impressed with how things are going.
He does stop them, though.
Yeah.
Like, you should probably stop before you kill each other.
He's like, pull everyone back. We're doing good. And Mash, the pilot of the Orange Unit, is like, no, don't stop us. We can keep fighting. I don't need a head to win.
Yeah.
And Ramba's like, Mash just tried to freaking kill me.
You're like, this cockpit is bullshit.
Yeah. It's big and it's unprotected in the front.
Easily.
Also broken right now.
Yeah. And like he threw out a few things, like the manipulators need to be changed, the other things are need to be upgraded, or what did he say? Either way, like basically make this shit better. It sucks. So basically he's like a test pilot for them to help improve their machines.
Yeah, and all the things he said make sense because the mobile worker wasn't really built per se to be a fighting unit. It was built to be just that, a worker. It was designed to help in the construction of the colonies. At least that's my understanding.
I'm eating cheese.
So, like, the idea is like you need to change up these arms. Well, yeah, because the arms aren't really made for punching people. They're made for lifting up heavy things and putting them down.
Well, the one thing they did, so they didn't have the shields on, so that since they weren't going against armed opponents, but he was blocking with the normal arm.
Yeah.
And then smashing with the grippy arm. Because one, it's got better range, two, it's a bit more solid. So it's like, remember the first thing they talked about is after he blocked that shot, they're talking about the elbow taking a bunch of stress and things like that. So they really hacking the hinges, so to speak. Yeah, Rambo was actually pretty injured.
Yeah.
But I did want to point out, like, I mentioned to you that at least with the helmet on, his mustache looked like bigger and more bold, like. But then when we see him shortly thereafter, after they stop the test, and he goes back to Club Eden, it's back to looking normal. Oh, I'm stepping on a thing.
Don't be breaking stuff.
No, it's a Dremel sanding head. It fell on the floor.
That's probably not a comfortable thing to step on.
I have shoes. But it was rolling. I was like, what the heck?
So speaking of heading over to Eden, that's when we cut over, we see Ramba heading to Eden. That same lieutenant, whatever his name is moonlighting again.
The guy who's definitely not moonlighting. He's just helping.
And Ramba is looking pretty rough. I think he's walking with like a crutch. He's got his arm
a crutch. A little bit bandaged up. He's going there to heal. He's going to have his wounds looked at by Hamon.
Yeah, he basically spends the evening with his head on Hamon's lap.
Not a bad place to be.
And it's like she's asking, like, do you really need to do all this? And he's like, and he makes a comment about how he's become the Zabi's hired dog.
Yeah.
And she says that he's, doing this for Dozel, who isn't like Giran or Cassilia. He's not a fascist or a psychopath, so he's got that going for him.
Yeah. And then she mentions that she went to go see Australia, and it had to have been because of Dozel, because nobody else would have got him in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that piqued his interest. Obviously, he was close with them. So, probably hasn't seen her since all the crap went down before.
Yeah.
But then, you get the bad news. Basically, she's dying.
Yeah. and Haman is barely holding it in.
I just realized what I've been hearing.
What's that?
I was wondering what I was hearing every time I moved. It was my cord wrapped. It was like sliding on my back. I was like, what is that noise?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Bursts into tears. And Rama tries to lighten things up a little bit, saying it's like that Casval and Artesia are supposed to be coming to Loom.
But he doesn't say it that way. He's like, well, aren't they coming to Loom? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I guess in theory they were wanting to try to maybe sneak them back in or something. I don't know how they were why they thought they could have managed something there, but
yeah, because I didn't mention this earlier because that's important because Estrella was saying that the one thing she really wishes more than anything is just to spend like one more night with her children.
Yeah. A lady's lap can heal all types of pain. Yep. I'm sure I like to lay when I'm tired and not feeling good. Hamon's lap.
So we cut to the next shot, and we see the moon, and then just on the other side of it, we see Side 5, Loom,
Texas. We're going to Texas, y'all,
and the Texas colony, which looks like an Old West film, only a little bit greener.
Very green. I will say this one had less smash cuts. You know, like where other episodes we've seen, it's just like boom, boom, like. Okay, we were here. Now we're here. This one actually had transitions that made sense.
They makes the pacing a little bit easier.
Yeah, and the lead-ins made more sense, and it wasn't suddenly night. Yeah. It's like we need it to be night. It's night. Okay. Yeah, we didn't get that.
We get a few shots like that where it questions like, okay, it's night now. Is it that night? The next night?
Which night is it?
Several nights from now.
They just turn the lights off. It's night whenever they want. Jerry hit the switch. Not that.
Yeah, it's just some guy. It's the Jeep. The cheat is over there trying to do a.
It's either Jerry or Terry, depending on the day. You know when it's Terry because it's never on time. But
anyway.
There's one thing I did like.
We're showing Texas colony, and we meet.
I think we're on a delay again because you're reacting way after I say things. Yep. Kill your video. Okay. So he's probably going to have to do this without. Okay. So hopefully it'll be better now.
Hopefully you're still out of sync for me.
It's just you. More people are watching anyways. Continue on.
Okay, so Texas colony. Where was I? We meet the Texas Village Chief Manager Roger Aznabal and his wife Michelle. They look like a lovely couple. They're just, dressed like they're in a bad spaghetti western.
It's Wyoming in space.
Yeah, in fact, he explains that the place was built as a hotel, and it has a bit more of a Wyoming feel, which is further north in Texas. And as a Texan, I kind of appreciate that at least they're honest about the lack of authenticity.
And I mentioned it last episode. It's like, it doesn't really look like any part of Texas that I know. And it's like, it's modeled more after Wyoming. Okay, that makes way more sense.
So like I said, that I appreciate that kind of thought process.
But now I just want to know
I don't know what Wyoming actually looks like, so I don't know how accurate it is to that either.
I think it looks a lot like this colony. It's Wyoming in a tube.
Anyway, so they're walking through the hotel. The place is made of logs and lumber. Walls have hunting trophies and rustic chandeliers and stuff. It actually looks pretty nice. I wouldn't mind spending a night there or something. And he asks if they like it, and Artesia lets Lucifer out to see what he thinks. The cat slowly comes out and I guess sneezes its approval or something.
I don't think that was approval. He didn't really want to step out onto the carpet, but you gotta wonder if the cat feels the difference between real gravity and going back to a colony.
Though you would think that the cat would have been in low grav for a while because of the trip from Earth, back up to space to the colony.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I wouldn't. Okay, now I just want to see a cat in zero gravity.
I want to say it's not like true zero gravity, but I want to say there's video of somebody took a cat up in one of those ships that do the
a vomit comet.
Yeah, and
yeah, Jerry's got a point. The tail would just be going crazy because they would be trying to land and they wouldn't have any particular direction to land. That'd be fun. Now that's all I want to see: cats in zero G. Not the movie, like an actual cat. Zero G is not going to help that movie at all.
We need to do this for science.
Yes, James. And so, carpool karaoke, James Corden and zero G.
So we cut again, and we see the siblings riding around, and what the hell is Sayla riding on?
A cartoon horse, apparently. Like what the hell?
These horrible bug eyes, and I'm laughing and horrified at the same time because it is just so bizarre. With everything else being, semi-realistic, you have that thing.
Well, it's kind of like Lucifer. That doesn't look like a real cat would look. Mm-hmm. So this is a pony, and she's still a little girl. Where what's his face is riding on a full size horse. It gets so confusing because I actually wrote his name both ways, actually all three ways.
Yeah.
In my notes. So I went from now he's Edward. Oh wait, now he's Char. Oh wait, now he's Casval. I was like, oh god, how does he not have identity issues? A very tired cartoon.
And he gets other names later on in life too.
Yes, Mr. Pagina.
Yes.
But they're writing about looking at the countryside.
Yeah. And eventually, while the pony stops and Sayla's trying to get it to go again, and Casval just keeps riding on without her. And she's starting to get upset, and then she swears she sees him riding back up again, except, he's got, a different outfit, and he's riding really well. Also, he's smiling. So that can't be her brother.
Yeah, the smiling is a big thing. I don't know. He didn't look unhappy whenever they first rode out. But yes, a fateful meeting, as it were.
Yeah. She's a little unsure about this, and then the guy introduces himself as Char Noble.
Hi, I'm you. But lesser.
And so he says he's the son of the person who runs the place. And, he's greeting them warmly before giving a quick lesson on how to ride. And Sayla actually picks it up pretty darn quickly after, somebody actually seems to teach her how to ride a horse properly.
Yeah. And he's like, you're holding the reins wrong. She's like, what? Do more relax your shoulders, do this. And then, she starts trotting along. It's like, you want it to go faster, kick your heels. And the horse goes faster. She's like, yay. This guy's not like my brother, even though he looks a lot like him. Except for his eyes are brownish red.
Yeah.
He looks like an evil version. Ironically, he looks like an evil version of Casval.
He does, doesn't he?
Yes, that's why I said it.
And there we are. And then after all that, he's pointing out the village and his home, and then Casval rides up, and the pair are just staring at each other. as he's riding up. Things are getting
Literally,
really
Char
tense.
intensifies.
Things are getting really tense. Sayla is looking kind of scared, like, are they gonna fight or something?
Yeah, I guess knowing her brother, she's like, is he gonna attack him? But I just like, she even says, she's like, I don't know what would happen with two people who look this similar meet. Anything could happen. I think most of the time, what happens would happen. Like, high five, dude.
Yeah, yeah, because of course before that they shout their names at each other. He's just Edouard Mas, Char Aznavour. I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, you're introducing yourselves to each other, but I feel like you're missing a few steps.
Yeah, they're like, hey, high five.
Yeah, and then sort of a bro moment almost.
Very bro. They're very broed up. I'm gonna turn my camera ever so slightly. Since I'm leaning like this, I'm just gonna turn my camera. Spider-Man meme. Wait. Gets even more confusing when Char rides up on Char. What? And technically speaking, they're living in the same house, from what I can tell. They're actually living on the Aznavour estate.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's not just their house, seemingly.
We know from later on that they eat like dinner together and stuff, so
yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Arturo. As soon as Casval saw him, Char's fate was set. Yep.
Yeah, he's like, huh. Well, this gives me all sorts of ideas.
The first Char clone was the man himself.
I never even thought about that. That's
I
awesome.
cloned me from him. What? Yes. I am my own clone. Or am I? No.
Anyway, so they give themselves high fives. Sayla's happy because they're friends now.
They give themselves high fives. That's called clapping.
And then we cut back to it's nighttime now, and she's writing one of her letters to her mom.
She did. Oh, I do remember that not Artesia, Australia even said, you know, she's supposed to be writing me every night, but she basically says I haven't gotten any letters. So the letters that she is writing for her mom aren't getting to her. If she's even sending them. I always wonder if she's actually sending them and they're just not. Obviously, people are like, well, we can't send that. They'll know where the fuck we are. Or if she was like compiling them. I don't know. We don't really cover that. It's just, you know, we just see her writing to mom again.
I don't think they make that super clear in the show.
Yeah.
Writing letters to mom. Yeah, she's writing a letter to mom. And she makes a comment about like Lucifer made a funny noise now, and Handy's getting older. I'm certain that this, won't lead to any heartbreaking scenes later on.
Cats live forever. Cats and moms and dads and brothers live forever. It's not a problem.
She explains that, they can see the stars and moon, and it lights up the night when they're in the colony because theirs is an open colony versus, you okay?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a big hunk of dust or something was like flying in front of my face.
Okay. Because Loam is one of the more open style colonies, while the Munzo ones are the closed kind.
They're so closed-minded. You gotta wonder if being closed up like that may have had an effect on them, because like one of the only ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I did like this shot, the nighttime shot up through the ceiling of the colony, and you see the other colonies and the moon. That was actually really cool. I would be so weirded out that there's like another colony like right there. Looks like you could reach out and touch it, but it's probably like 40, 50 miles away or something. Why do they never look like they're spinning?
Yeah, that's probably because it would be too hard to animate that properly, because it probably actually would look a little disorienting, because you probably would be seeing the thing just whipping around you really fast.
Yeah, because I mean that's the only thing about Munzo is that because it's closed, they don't have to animate that. But we actually have open colonies where we can see out. We should see the rotation, and we don't.
Nope. Bad animators.
Bad animators.
Actually, the animation in this episode is really, really good. She mentions how Char and Casval have met and that they look so much alike. And then that's when Casval walks in looking absolutely horrible.
Yep.
And
guess what?
Now, guess what? Mom's gone.
Mom died. It's like, okay. Like, not mom died. We need to talk about something. Mom was sick and died. Mom died. Like, holy shit. Like,
revenge.
Taking it a little personally there. I mean, like, she probably couldn't help it. It's not like she was on a shuttle that exploded. Spoilers.
Yeah. Sayla, runs over to grab the note out of his hands, knocking over the ink that starts spilling over the note that she was just writing and covers it all. Totally not symbolic. It was just anything for them to draw.
Did she scream no?
I want to say she did.
I don't think she did in this particular case. I think she was more surprised. I don't think she screamed no like previous times. I think the world's getting to her. Yeah,
but she starts reading over it, and we can tell that it's a note from Haman.
Yeah,
and basically says that she died and that she needs them all to be brave.
Mom died.
My parents are dead.
He's really becoming Batman.
It kind of is.
It is Game of Thrones in space, after all.
Game of Thrones is Batman?
Yeah. Think about it.
I've never watched Game of Thrones or read Game of Thrones.
There's not really much correlation. I'm just talking shit. But there's if I think about it hard enough, this situation, if you treat them like the Lannisters, not the Lannisters, if you treat them like the Targaryens, it makes a lot of sense. Because the zombies are space Lannisters.
I'll take your word on that.
She just gasped heavily. There, see, she didn't yell no. Yeah, her chain of sad memories begins here. Fine, go. Nothing happens after this. Not a funeral, nothing.
Nope, episode's over. We're gone. We cut to they're out in the field and they have a tombstone set for her, but they can't actually like have her name on it or anything like that. So it just says loving mother of Edward and Salia, and I think it's in French.
I guess I couldn't tell. I couldn't read it except for their names. I couldn't read it. It's obviously wasn't a real or not a real grave. It's just a headstone.
I think in the movie they make a comment about how like they couldn't put her actual name on there or something like that, but no such dialogue exists in this version of it.
Yes, that's true, Jerry.
What did Jerry say?
Spoilers. Spoilers for Batman Hush. But yeah, no, it's a pretty sad scene, and then Casval is just at this point. There are no more rails for him.
Yeah. Something I noticed is that they lay down white roses and lilies, and I'm wondering if that has any special meaning, because I know Japan loves their language of flower stuff. I don't know any of it, so I know lilies are usually used as like a symbol for like the Virgin Mary or something like that, but that's about it. And that doesn't seem to be relevant to this situation.
That we know of.
Yeah. Casval, I also know everybody's in their mourning. Casval's the only one not wearing black. And when we initially see him, his eyes are in shadow. And then the next shot, he just looks really awful and horrible, like he hasn't slept in days. I also have written down here, he's probably planning all the murders.
All the murders. But apparently they've started up at school. But I like how, like, they sort of describe Texas Colony as basically, the Fujima or whoever. It's like, it's ours. We own it. To me, I thought maybe it was like just open land. There's nobody else here. That's why they were taking them there. No, there's more people here. It's like a legit colony now. It's just like, but it's still set in the Old West.
For people who want to live out in the Old West, I guess.
I guess, because they're like wearing long fringe jackets, cowboy hats.
Everybody's
all this kind of shit.
Very connected to the aesthetic.
It's very Back to the Future 3.
Yeah. I think I
to the point
here somewhere that they look like they're out of a bad spaghetti western or something.
Yeah. And then the fact that they go into like a saloon, like they leave Don Tiebolo to go talk to the headmaster of their school, and then the kids just go into a saloon.
It's not a saloon; it's a cafe. They specifically said it's Mr. Ensembles Cafe, and I'm like,
that's a
freaking saloon.
It's got swinging doors. It's either a toilet or a saloon or a kitchen from 1982.
Pretty much, right? As they're going into that saloon, Casval sees a suspicious person just sort of hanging out outside, and just sort of kind of gives him the stink eye as they go in.
Yeah. What happened with that guy was a little odd to me.
Yeah.
Because he does follow him in eventually.
So it feels like maybe there was something going on there, but I mean, we'll get to it when we get to that scene, but also get the feeling that he didn't really know anything, and just, I feel like Casval overreacted or something.
Well, if you were paying attention, we kind of got the new type noise when he saw him the first time.
Oh, did they do the little
kind of? They did a sound very similar to it. Didn't do like the the line across the head, but like they did. Flash. There was a light sound effect when he saw the guy. So I think at this point,
well,
some of those abilities.
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, because we have the movie between Tiebolo and the headmaster.
Yes, the Don, who can kind of walk with assistance.
Yes, Don Tiebolo. Yeah,
Mr. Mass.
So I'm just gonna. The headmaster tells Mr. Mass that the children are excellent students, and then I have in parentheses next to this, but he then says Edward in particular is very smart, and he could advance to high school right away. And he's just looking, and he's looking increasingly nervous. And Tiebolo is just looking right through. It's like, don't beat around the bush. What has he done?
Yeah. What did he do? Nothing. Nothing.
Like, nothing. We just might not be equipped to handle young Edward's education. And
what does that mean?
He's like, has he been misbehaving? And the headmaster's like, no, quite the opposite. In fact, several problem students have suddenly straightened out thanks to him. It's just, I'm freaking terrified of him.
I liked that note that some of our problem students have actually gotten better. It was like, wait, did he whip them into shape or like started organizing them? That's what I was like.
I kind of wish they had shown something like this, because even in the movie version, we don't see any of this stuff that they're talking about. At least I don't remember it.
I do not know.
What's that?
I said, I do not know.
So it'd be kind of interesting to have seen, Edward doing whatever the heck it was he was doing in school that terrified this poor man so much. Anyway, he goes on saying that he has a keen mind, acute sensitivity. He's a boy of very real qualities. However, he's cold. It's like a drawn knife. I can only hope that he doesn't cause some great calamity in the future.
Wait, he started the Calamity War from IBO?
Yes, he did.
Okay. No, I love when he's talking about this. So we actually see the guy walk into the not saloon, and Casval's reading a book, and then he's watching the guy, and then very slowly
just
closes the book as he knows what he's gonna do to him.
Yeah, and Teobolo is just not having any of this. He slams his fist down on the table, causing the headmaster's teacup and sugar bowl to jump up, which is very nicely done animation on there. He then stands up almost to his full height, just hulking over the guy. He's like, "I've heard quite enough." And
yes, he was pissed.
He charges into the cafe, being half carried by other man, demanding that the headmaster be fired. Meanwhile, everybody around looking at him like, "What the heck is going on here?"
Exactly.
And he says what the headmaster said was horrible. He didn't have to go that far. And then Casval stands up. Sayla's confused, and Casval walks over to the stranger, and Casval practically has murder in his eyes. The two kind of stare at each other for a moment, and then the stranger's like, "You want something, boy?" And Casval just comes right out and demands to know how long are they going to tail him, or is he going to tail them? And the stranger seems somewhat confused. He starts to reach for his drink, and Casval picks it up and just slowly
smashes it.
Well, no, he pours the drink.
Oh, he pours it on his head first, yeah.
Slowly. And then smashes the guy's hand.
I like the added detail because he was clearly having a beer that as he poured it, it was foaming and coming down over the hat. It was drawn very well.
There's a lot of really nice attention to detail in this episode.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the instance where I thought I saw that the sound happen. Charmingly terrifying. That's a good way to put it.
Want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. And he picks it up. Okay. And then he slams the guy through the door and starts just wailing on the guy, breaking things all over the place. And that's when Teobolo sees the murderous look in his eyes and is probably thinking about this great calamity comment that the headmaster made. And yeah, everybody around is scared and confused as to what the hell is just going on right now.
Yeah, because this kid just suddenly starts attacking people. I was just trying to. I can't find that moment. That's okay.
You.
Because I could have sworn I heard it.
Shall continue on.
Yeah. It's like you're in a hurry, God. Can't we just talk about things? Like how Hida Atarasi just showed up finally. Hi.
Hi. So the
anyways,
stranger
yeah.
is.
We never get the guy's name or anything. He just starts accusing him of tailing him.
Yeah, and I swear the guy seems legit confused as to what the hell Casval is talking about.
Yeah, but a spy would also not admit, especially in public, that he is following them. And they have been followed for such a long damn time, he would be suspicious.
Mm-hmm. And so the stranger's all sprawled out on the ground, and he starts to get up and he grabs a board with nails on it.
Yeah.
And he charges at Casval, but Casval just parries the thing with his arm, then punches the guy in the face, sending him flying. And then when he picks up the board and turns it around so that the nails are sticking out, and he's ready to just literally kill this dude.
Yeah.
Like he is not playing around.
Nah, he's done with this shit.
And the only thing that basically stops him from basically perforating this dude is Sayla cries out for him to stop. He's like, yep. Stop it. Are you trying to kill this man? What did he do? Why did you take these things so far? Do you think Mother would be happy?
Yes. Yes, she would. If he was a zombie.
And it looks like maybe her words kind of reach him, but truth be told, I don't think he looks that sorry for what he did. He's just calming. He's just like stopping and calming down because Sayla's there and doesn't want to cause her problems right now.
I think he doesn't want, like, he has this rage that has been in him for a long time, and he very rarely gets to do anything about it. And at this point, he has no barriers left. Like, once his mom died, that was it. It's like, that was one of the very small bastions of hope that we had left in this world. She's gone. Fuck everything. I'm going sicko mode, basically. And like any and all skills he kind of learned up to this point, he applied to this guy that we still don't know, was he tailing them or not. That's like the worst part, because they just leave that hanging. But I get that for him, he doesn't want his sister to see him like that, you know?
Yeah.
Because a few times he pulled back because of her.
Yeah, and he apologizes and says he won't do it again. And I have in parentheses next to this, lies.
No, I think in parentheses, it's in front of you.
Yeah.
On this colony.
Yeah. Sayla gives him a hug and is crying. Everyone else is looking around like they have no idea what to do with all this.
Literally like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, because, you know, you got to remember that not only did, you know, he start this fight with the guy, but he also, you know, busted the door.
He broke a lot of shit.
Yeah, he was just breaking everything.
He Char kicked that dude through the door, I think, and then through the rail. Or out the window. I forgot if did he send him out the window?
No, it was through the door.
Okay.
It was through the door, and then he also smashed through the railing of the little porch area.
Yeah. So yeah, it was intense. I mean, he beat the crap out of this guy in a short amount of time.
And then, like I said before, when he picked up that board with nails on it, he turned it around specifically so that way the nails would be facing out.
Yeah, they made sure you saw that.
And I love the attention to detail on that scene where, because they close up to his hand and you see him rotate it around.
And just for reminders' sake, this is a 15-year-old boy whipping up a full-grown man. Like, no effort.
That's right. He's still only like a young teenager, isn't he?
He's like 15. Yeah. And don't forget that Char is the same age and everything.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
yeah,
a segue. We cut to that night and we see Char has been accepted into the military academy, and he's super excited. Not that, you know, everyone around him seems to feel that way, because you can see like his dad looking a little nervous about it and stuff.
I do have a question concerning this episode in particular. Brought up a question to me, especially considering like this scene so far. Is this series taking place in a galaxy far, far away? Because there's a shit ton of coincidences happening around our main character. Like, oh, hey, we just happen to move to a place with a guy who looks exactly like me. Oh, hey, he gets accepted coincidentally to the Xeon Academy. Oh, hey, the next scene.
Yeah. Now I've lost my place.
Keep your finger on it.
I'm trying to.
Highlight as you go.
Anyway, so now they're at dinner and they're talking, and he's talking about how great it's going to be to serve in the Xeon military, and he's saying things like the times have finally caught up with Xeon Zoom Daikun's ideas, and pretty much everybody that knows what's going on with Casval and Sailor are kind of looking at him going like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, there's a lot of shifty eyes. Like,
Casval actually looks kind of smug as he's munching on a roll.
I think Tiabolo was sweating a bit.
Yeah.
He's just like, It's like at some point I feel like he was like about to be like, they're the Dakins, like just all of a sudden just burnt out with the truth.
Yeah, and then he starts like going on about how the zombies are right and stuff, and Sayla looks like she's had just about enough of this.
Yeah. Literally just starts preaching everything. It was fine when he's talking about the rise of Xeon and Dakin's ideology finally coming around and stuff like that. Then he starts praising the zombies, and it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, that's literally like everything they were thinking.
There's always that one person that starts talking politics at the dinner table, right?
Not even Thanksgiving.
And he's talking about how the colonies are going to be exploded. I mean, they will, but
well,
that's not what
say. Dropped, exploded.
Tiabolo says that surely things won't go to war, and Char looks at him slyly and says, but 10 years from now? No, in 5 years. Who's to say?
In 0079, Oh, but wait till 0083.
Could be very profitable for certain companies, make a big franchise that would last for 40 plus years.
Yeah. That sounds like a franchise.
And off camera, I couldn't tell who was saying this, but I like the line where somebody says, like, I won't allow it. War is a terrible thing, which, this is basically the message of the entire franchise.
Yeah, I don't know who said that either. I thought it was Tiabolo, but it might have been Roger.
It feels like something Tiabolo would said, but I'm not familiar enough with the voices to recognize them. And we could tell that his father was starting to get a little tired of him going on about this in front of Edward and Sayla.
The family.
Yeah.
Well, I did want to bring up earlier, Roger. That's the best they could do. Fucking Roger.
I bet there's probably some sort of deep meaning behind that, or some weird reference that they're making. Because supposedly Char's novel is a reference to like some sort of singer or something like that.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just, I thought it was funny. It's like, so your name is Roger. I forgot what his wife's name, but I feel like it was like Maria or something. Melissa. So Roger and Melissa have a Char. Yeah. Space Wyoming. That's all I wanted to bring up. Just like something of a different name, perhaps. Like if his dad had an oddball name. Just thought they ran out of funny space names. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this whole conversation at dinner is just all set up and a little bit of exposition. Because this is the first time they've actually mentioned Xeon by name. Not the person, but the organization.
Exactly. Because before it was, the Munzo Defense Force or something like that, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Also like how Casval's sort of looking at him like he's just sort of nodding and smiling, but he's like, you're a freaking moron, you know that, right?
Yeah, he definitely had, well, I liked you before, but I'm definitely going to find a way to kill you in his eyes.
As much as it pains me to kill something so beautiful.
If your eyes were blue, I wouldn't have to do this. It's kind of what it comes down to.
Anyway, so we cut back to Sayla going back to her room, and she looks like she's exhausted by just everything.
Yeah.
Maybe she can get some joy from her furry little friend, Lucifer. Oh, fuck.
I said cats don't die. I said it. So what the fuck?
Yes. So Lucifer has died. And
now
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say RIP to Unboxing Arts cat, who had to be sadly put down last week. So sad day for kitty lovers.
Well, and not too long ago, like a few weeks ago, I got a call from my parents saying that one of the cats that they had that came in just like the day I moved out had passed away as well. So yes, kitty deaths abound. It's sad.
I was gonna say, wouldn't that cat be kind of old?
Yeah, it was a pretty old cat, and we don't know how old he was.
That is the thing here. We actually don't even know how old Lucifer was because he was already around when they were still at their old home. You know, and it's been years, so you know he could have easily been like a 10-year-old cat for all we know. That's sad.
Yeah, so they make a little marker for him, and it's placed in front of their mother's marker. Oh,
you're fine.
Okay. And
cat died. Buried cat.
Yeah, sad. She's like, you left me because you thought mother was lonely, didn't you? Cheer up, mother, enough for all of us. Okay.
That shit was deep. That was like just so wrong. Like,
yeah,
like justifying, like she's already sad that her cat died, but she said basically in her mind, mommy was more sad than me, so you went to go be with her to cheer her up instead. It's like, fuck me.
Yeah.
It's like there's denial and then there's a child's mind, and it's just like, wow. That was just sad. And then it gets worse from here on out.
Yeah, the wind is blowing. She's trying to hold on to this jacket. Why she didn't, actually put the jacket on, I don't know. We see storm clouds billowing overhead, which we've talked about how weather must work in a colony before and how we have no freaking clue.
It's Terry. He controls the lights and he turns on the extra hose that makes it rain. The fog machine. He turns on the fog machine every 6 weeks.
And then we see Casval walk up and he's got a suitcase and he says he's leaving. You won't see me. We won't see each other again for a while. And he says he's talked it over with Mr. Tiabo and he's made a decision. He's going to Loom to the main school there, where Char says he's going.
Isn't that where Char's going?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not
no. Different plane.
He thinks he's going there.
He's going somewhere.
But yeah, she's confused and upset. She's lost her mother. She's lost her cat. Now her brother is leaving. She cries out to him after he says goodbye, and she's chasing after him. The wind blows the jacket away. And I noticed that
he suddenly gets faster.
Yeah, well, camera pans back, but yeah. But this scene is also something that was referenced in a flashback in First Gundam. I don't know if it was in the TV show version or the movie version, but I specifically remember seeing this scene with the jacket and him looking back at her and stuff.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I got to... Just imagine I have a trench coat on and there's wind.
Yeah, and
or look at the thumbnail.
And his eyes look all cold and filled with murder and malice.
But he also looked happy to some degree, like I'm gonna do it finally.
Things are in motion.
I'm gonna kill that red-eyed son of a bitch. I mean,
did you hear what he was talking about at the table? He's practically begging for it.
Ride a horse better than me?
And his high five was really weak sauce.
Literally high-fiving himself, essentially. That's a self-congratulatory thing.
Anyway, we cut to the spaceport, and Char and Casval are walking to their port. Yeah. Char's telling him that he can't pull any strings to get him in, but Casval says he's fine, and basically he's like, I have a plan.
Now, you know what's funny? If you really didn't know that much, like myself, you only know of original Gundam and you know of the characters, and you were to see this scene, but in text only, if you only saw the screenplay for this, it'd be so goddamn confusing.
Oh, yeah.
Because Char is talking to also Char. And then it just gets weirder from there.
Mm-hmm. And he has the comment about, it's like, I'll find my own path and make my own way. And I wrote down next to us, like, this is both a lie and the truth. Because it's not really, he doesn't really make his path. It's going to be someone else's. But he is kind of making it himself.
He usurps someone else's path, but does make it his own. So he wasn't lying. He's just alluding to what happens next.
And they get held up in security for a bit, and they're really running late because you see a little sign that says like "final call" for their ship. They're worried that, and Char is worried that they're going to miss it. He's kind of freaking out. And Casval is looking around. And he's basically saying, "It's like, okay, well, that's a spy. That's a spy. That's an assassin.
That guy's on the phone, clearly talking to somebody about me." Though, in this case, it was actually true. It wasn't just paranoid and beating up some guy.
It's not paranoia if they really are after you.
This is true.
And then at the next checkpoint, security pulls out a revolver, like, you know, Old West style revolver from Char's bag. And he's showing proper trigger discipline. I don't know if you noticed
holding
that.
it up. Yeah. Also,
like, good for him.
Also, little known fact, this was Chekhov's gun. Because it was on the wall. So, okay, so here's our tie-in to previous episode. When they first get to the cabin, to the new home, you see a couple rifles and revolvers on the wall in very similar manner to the swords that were on the wall in a Tiabolo home.
Huh.
And coincidentally, that decoration gets used to further the plot.
Nice.
But yeah, Chekhov's gun. We saw the gun earlier, therefore it had to be used somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an accident.
And
totally not his
Char
gun.
is like, I don't even know where this is from.
Yeah. I mean, I expected him to go, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. That's my dad's gun. Why is it in my thing? I didn't bring this. But no, he literally says, I don't even know what this is. Like just an idiot. I'm from Texas. Of course I have guns.
Yeah.
that I want. Maybe I'll do that. That needs to be a meme. That needs to be a meme. Someone do it. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I'm from Texas. Of course I have guns. And it'll be like, oh, carry on.
Well, not carry on. You should check that.
Tried to.
And Char practically starts crying, says he's going to miss his entrance ceremony, or he called it something weird, and I didn't have a chance to write it down. But yeah. And Casval leans in and says, have an idea. Just follow my lead.
This is the part that lost me. Like, I knew it was going to have to happen.
Well, when they start
a phone dialing.
Huh?
I must have my gain turned up because I can hear a phone ringing.
Something. I heard a weird like beep sound or something like that, but
I have a message. I have a message, but for some reason I could hear a phone ringing through my headset, but like it was in the distance.
Weird.
Yeah. My mic picks up things sometimes. But yes, no, as I was saying, this scene, I knew it had to happen somehow. Once all these things started to move forward. And I was just like, okay, he's going to take Char's place somehow. We know this. So then he gets him to go to the bathroom with him. And then, like, convinces him to change clothes. But I was completely lost as to his reasoning to Char why they needed to change clothes.
Well, basically, what he was telling him was that they trade places. He'll get holed up and just maybe take a later flight or something like that. But obviously, this is all big and important to him. So he'll take his place, go over there. He's still got all his papers. He knows who he is. He'll get to Munzo on time and be there for the ceremony.
Okay, so he was just swapping places for the security reasons. So literally, he's like, "I'll stay here, pretend to be you. You go on, do all the shit you got to do." It's basically what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, I was lost. I was like, why? And then I was like, wait, why does this moron think this is a good idea in the first place? And just like, it got him to be distraught enough, I guess, that he was willing to do anything to be able to go.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously saying that the real Char isn't the brightest crayon in the box, but also he's really stressed out and messed up right now. So he's kind of disagreeing to anything that sounds like a good idea.
Well, I mean, I think anybody would be pretty well stressed at a mysterious gun being in their bag as they're trying to board a plane. You know,
Yeah.
like, okay, how did this literally get in my bag? But the fact that the security let them walk away while they were still doing searches, I was like, great security. We're going to go to the bathroom real quick. You hold on to that. We're going to go to the bathroom that way, right? We're going to go over there.
And they're like, okay.
We will totally be back wearing the same clothes we came in. Pay no attention to our eye color or voice. Best security ever. Hashtag best security ever.
I should show this scene to my brother and see what he says about it. He actually works as a TSA person now.
Do it. I want to see him review that and be like, what?
I'll later tonight, I'll send him a message. He'll probably get a kick out of it because he just finished his training on this. So all this information of what to do and not to do is going to be super fresh in his head too.
Oh, what not to do? You mean let somebody who just had a gun in their bag walk away?
They should be
with their stuff.
They should be escorting him to another room and making him very uncomfortable.
Well, the part that's really strange is what happens after the fact. So they come out of the bathroom, they switch places. Original Char goes on saying, "I'm not him," and just said, "I'm gonna go get on the plane. You got that, buddy? You good? We'll catch up later." And he's like, "Okay, you're dead." Never. But then like the security guy, like the I keep calling it a plane, but the ship, the transport leaves, which is a pretty cool looking like double decker, big wide square plane thing.
Yeah,
almost like a cruise ship, but also reminds me of something from Star Trek to some degree. But the security guy's like, "Okay, we're done dealing with that. You can get on the next flight tomorrow. You can't really go now. The last flight out." But he's literally like, "Okay, we've dealt with your gun you weren't supposed to have. We're good."
My thought is that maybe they looked closer at the gun and realized that it wasn't even a real gun. It was
in theory
it was a detailed replica that probably didn't actually have any moving parts or something like that.
Well, I think to be fair, if they found that if we're thinking real modern day, they've tracked the gun as fast as possible, be like, okay, this gun is registered to your family, but it's also not a usable gun, which in theory, it's mounted up on the wall more like a trophy than anything. Not like, I mean, who puts a pistol up on the freaking wall, versus a usable one, especially a revolver, you wouldn't just have that out on display. The like Winchester style rifle they had, yeah, sure, who wouldn't want that out? But I think that security guy was so lax. It's just like, there's nobody else in line. This is the last flight out. We'll deal with you. It'll be cool. Gun's not a problem. Go chill at our hotel or whatever. You can fly out tomorrow on the next flight to Loom or Xeon. They say Loom, and then sometimes they say Xeon, like specifically. Yeah. So it's just like, okay. Because Loom is the overall area they're in, right? It's like that refers to their chunk of colonies.
Is what they call side 4. Munzo is side 3?
Side 3, yes. We keep talking about this. Munzo / Xeon is side 3.
Oh,
what?
Oh, I was going to say an interesting detail that I noticed on the ship that the real Char leaves on.
Yeah.
It says Lunar Flight on it.
Yes.
The font that they use for that, and leave it to the graphic designer to notice this, it's the exact same font that they use on the American Gundam logos, at least the ones from like the 90s.
Oh, the old school ones. Okay.
Yeah. Julius cool. Black, done with an italics.
Yeah. Pull up a comparison. Oh, that's right. We don't have one. We just set this up like an hour before we started. Come on, guys.
Anyway, so
a boom happens.
Yeah, Char's watching the ship fly out. The security guard
tells him that,
yeah, I've written down it's like the newly christened Char watches the ship fly out, and meanwhile Edward, quote unquote, is freaking out, disturbing everyone on the ship. One of the ladies. Yeah, it's like, my papers, and you gotta understand, it's my entire future here. And then he comes down with a sudden case of exploded.
I'm guessing Anaheim also makes these ships. As we previously discussed, they also make those cars for diplomats that tend to explode too. Just whoever holds the remote. So clearly, New Char was very aware that he wasn't going to make it very far. So not only was he securing his way to get into Xeon, he was taking care of his other problem of his doppelganger at the same time. It's just like, well, damn.
Yeah, it was cold, basically, what he just did. And throughout this, we are listening to some of the spies and stuff like that talking to one another or to their handlers or something like that, saying it's like, yeah, he just got on board the flight. Okay, let's do the thing and kill hundreds upon hundreds of innocent people.
Yeah, fuck him.
It's like what happened to that one commercial arms dealer that had a clear polycarbonate grenade launcher in his carry-on to show the internal mechanism.
Yeah.
That actually sounds like it would look really cool.
Yeah. He drank the water. Same thing happened to me in Russia. That's funny. Yeah, it came down with a sudden case of explosions. Man, it would sure be a shame if this ship suddenly exploded. That's a nice ship you got there. It would really suck if someone made it explode. And now New Char is like, I'll just hop the next flight. Thanks. Yeah. Staring out at this now newly exploded ship in front of him. Oh no.
When you think his next flight would have been, delayed after, massive freaking explosion in front of them.
No, they get out the mobile workers to clean up the mess and they move on. They know where they live. They know where they live. They're like, what are you going to do? It's like, well, we know everybody who was on board there. Oh, no. One of the mass kids died. So what we don't see in this episode is Sayla getting the news that her brother is now dead. How much work does this episode get for her? Like, really?
Poor Sayla.
Poor Sayla.
After all this, we cut to the entrance ceremony for the military thing, and we see all the zombies are welcoming.
Suddenly becomes a different series.
And are welcoming the new recruits, Char, and then we see Char walking down wearing his trademark shades.
Sorry, I'm replying.
The guy he sits down. The guy next to him seems to know the original Char because he keeps talking to him like he's familiar. It's like, so nice of you to join us.
Yeah, and he says a lot of things. Basically, he's all like, "What's with the new look?" At one point, like you've got the glasses on. He just looks at him through the glasses, like, "Well, clearly you don't know me well enough to know this isn't my voice."
He's like, "Well, I'm a soldier now, so things change," or something like that.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, things change. Eye color, voices, attitudes, skills. I suddenly become better than everyone. It's fine.
Entire overall demeanor and way of acting.
You gotta think though. He had to walk into that ceremony to face all of his enemies.
Yeah,
all of the people he hates in this world.
Because every last surviving member of the zombie family is standing up there, either on the stage or.
Was Dozel there?
I think Dozel was there.
Okay, I know everybody else was. They clearly showed everybody else, even old Sunglass Face himself.
Yeah.
So,
because I imagine they were all there because. Shoot!
Their first what?
Oh, the youngest one. I'm blanking on his name. Garma is being inducted into the military academy. So they're there because they're family and they're going to be supportive like that.
Or the fact that they're like the head of the military and everything else, and it's like their first class of like new Xeon soldiers. So it kind of makes sense that they would all be there for that.
Yeah, and Garen kind of I didn't write down what he said, but he was basically giving a very fascist Hitlery looking speech.
Yeah, it was literally like you're gonna be our first wave against or in the new tide that will turn for us, basically. That's actually pretty good. I'm gonna write that down. He'll be the first wave when the tide turns towards the favor of Xeon. Not really what he says, but either way.
What's funny is when he finishes his big speech, everyone in the crowd just sort of laughs nervously.
Yeah. And then also they call Garma up to do a speech because I guess he's supposed to be like the class representative because he's like the zombie representation in this new class.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Munzo military purely decorative at this point. Yeah. The original one, so to speak, yeah. So you got to think
for much longer.
Yeah, you got to think at this point they're doing all this shit probably incredibly secretive to the Federation. They're like, hey, why are all these thousands of people going into this auditorium? Don't worry about it. Hey, why are the dictator and all the armed forces controlling guys? Don't worry about it. What are those big machines you guys have been building next door? I said, don't worry about it. Hey, have you been to Club Eden?
Those aren't for fighting. Those are for building colonies.
Yeah, we build things with those. We build our future. By the way, we're going to need some more spaceships.
That will be built upon your ashes.
Xeon. So this whole series is building up Char, new Char, to be the hero. Not the one we need, but not the one we deserve. Yeah, he's still Batman. Okay. Well, because Ra's al Ghul had Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne murdered to change Gotham, they needed them out of the way. And there, he also trained Bruce Wayne to eventually become Batman to turn around and fight against him.
Are you using Batman Begins?
Yes, it's Batman Begins. This is they could have called this Char Begins.
The red comet begins.
It is what it is. I need to become a symbol. You can't kill a symbol.
You're not wrong.
You can clone a symbol. You could actually,
with different results.
Except he doesn't wear black. He literally looks at the Zaku and goes, "Does it come in red?" He's got a Lucius.
Want to say there's a line like that.
Oh my god, they're better. They're better. He's gonna have like the Lucius Fox character off to the side.
Okay, there's not a line exactly like that, but there's sort of like an inversion of that because in the movie version, I know there's a part where he's flying around in his custom colored, I think it's the Zaku 1, and somebody makes a comment about, it's like, why does he get one in a special color?
Oh, yeah. What does that make Amuro if he's Batman? It makes him Oliver Queen. Think about it. Oliver Queen, Green Arrow, very similar backstory to Batman, but things didn't necessarily go as bad. Builds up his own skills and everything off his dad's abilities. Then have to become a hero.
He may have more in common with Cyborg, almost.
No, if he was a cyber new type. Do you think space is your ally? You merely adopted space. I was born in it, molded by it. Okay, so who's Bane in this situation? Who is the Bane to Char? I guess Amuro. But that doesn't make sense either. Who's his other enemy? The Titans? Are the Titans the League of Assassins?
Titans come after all this.
Oh, that's good. I hadn't experienced gravity until I was already a man. That's good.
Okay,
that's really good.
So Char isn't Batman. Char's Bane.
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, assuming that Amuro is an Earthling, right? Because we see them going to space.
I can't remember, because I know his mother lives on Earth, and I want to say technically he's like listed as being Canadian or something like that, but I can't remember for certain.
Of course he's Canadian. But no, because we see them at the end of last episode heading to space from Earth, so.
Yeah.
I hadn't experienced gravity until I was already a man. I was going to try to find more Game of Thrones connections because I think at this point, maybe not. I was thinking that there were the Targaryens. They were left of the Targaryen children, but now I'm really thinking they're definitely more on the Stark side, and Char is really becoming like Arya. Maybe Jon Snow.
Take your word on all this.
He might be the Jon Snow of this. Just let me know if you think which Game of Thrones good guy is Char at this point, given the story. Find the parallels because it's very similar to, in a lot of ways, very similar to Jon Snow, but closer to Arya. But if Sayla had a more killing future after being trained by multiple badasses, then I would say she's definitely Arya. But I presume she never gets into killing sprees and assassinating people.
Not that I know of.
Okay. So probably more Jon Snow like. Or she's actually she might be more Jon Snow. No, she's definitely I'll have to think about this. I'll have to think about it because she's actually a lot of wow. The show's been off the air a little too long. My brain is slipping. Also, I'm tired. It's been a very long weekend. I can't
help you at this at all because I don't know anything.
You need to watch Game of Thrones somehow. Okay, but guys, that's a good episode.
Yeah, it is. Very good episode. Sad as all hell, but
yeah,
a lot of important stuff happening.
So I gotta wonder. Okay, so presumably Sayla doesn't even know he's still alive until much later. If at all, right? I assume they must have their meeting later down the line in original Gundam, right?
I haven't watched the TV series much, but I know in the movie it basically happened. They have a meeting pretty much right towards the beginning, and right off the bat, she's like, "Casval?"
Yeah, she probably knows who he is right off the bat. Yeah.
Yeah, and Char looks at her as like, "Artasia? No, you can't be Artasia. You're too strong," or something like that.
Cool. Yeah. Calling it out, Bandai ever runs into some Game of Thrones models, I'm gonna go broke. Referring to me. I'm like, no, because I don't need to have Game of Thrones models. If that was true, I'd be buying the Game of Thrones Mega Blocks. I mean, like episode 2. Say what?
There's Game of Thrones Mega Blocks.
Oh yeah, they've got what's her face riding her dragon.
Huh.
Like, they have a huge dragon kit. They have the throne room. They've got all kinds of stuff. They've got you can actually build the map, like the 3-dimensional map, kind of. So you're building like each section of the map and each castle or section like that, and then make it one giant map of Westeros.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, have either of y'all seen the pure insanity that is the new Fast and Furious trailer? I watched it earlier. Jesus Christ.
I watched like the first half of it. I'm not familiar with the series, so I don't know much about it. But I have an appreciation of the fact that they're basically doing superhero movie, but with cars.
It's gotten ridiculous to this point. I never watched 8, but I knew what happened in it. And then this one picks up after 8, and then somewhere along the way, Hobbs and Shaw happens, also in the same world, because it's now one expansive Furious universe. But yeah, the end of this trailer is completely absurd. It's just like, it's one thing some of the other weird car stunts they do, but with every movie they ramp it up, no pun intended. But like, this is like, there is no way you can plan the thing that you need to happen with what you've got in this situation that happens at the end of the trailer. It just makes well, not the very end. The very end is a spoiler for the movie, because then you're all like, what the fuck? How? But prior to that was a different what the fuck how. It was a what the fuck how of physics.
Fast and Furious is about physics.
When do Fast and Furious cars start transforming? Then it becomes Knight Rider the reboot. Whenever they brought Car back,
I would probably be down for Fast Furious transform.
I'm amazed they haven't done it, because Tyrese was in both. Let's see here. Since I binged the Origin series episodes all run together, I can't pick out spoilers. Okay. I think their new strategy is just to confuse people into watching the movie to get answers. Yeah. it's like show them a trailer, you're like, ooh, sure. Now, one thing I noticed, there's definitely some awkwardly cut together lines to make the trailer happen, especially when it comes to Letty or Michelle Rodriguez's character. There's some lines, the way they're said, there's no way they're from the scene that they're being shown with, because it's so bad you can tell it's not the way a statement is ending. So I just like, okay. And they're bringing back like anybody and everybody they can. They're like, oh, hey. And also, here's a new character that you never knew about, but has always been around. This is why they've never been around. You know, it's just going to be great. Yeah, the Pontiac Fiero. Gee, I wonder what that's going to be in this freaking ridiculous movie. I mean, I have no need to want to see it. You know, once Vin Diesel basically owned the movies and can just have free reign on whatever the hell he wants to do with them, and he booted The Rock out, basically. I just like, I'm kind of done with these. Like, I kind of don't need to see them anymore. The good ones were the earlier ones, and I'm fine. Brought back the mechanic crew from Tokyo Drift. Makes sense. They're really trying to include that movie as much as possible. I liked Tokyo Drift for as bad as it was, but you know,
I haven't watched a single Fast and Furious movie, so.
Well, I've got like the first 4. I got to take him out of my DVD collection. His sister writes a punch contract for each of the main stars. That makes sense. All right, so should we wrap it up then?
Well, we're talking about random movies now, so I think we're probably hitting the end of things.
Well, apparently our discussion last week post-review got you to go back and start rewatching a series.
That's right, because I started rewatching the original Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah. I thought that was a pretty good discussion Joey and I had, though I was forgetting a lot because it's been so long since I've seen those series.
That's part of why I wanted to rewatch it, because I was like, especially since I, like maybe a year or so back, I had finished watching all of Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably a couple years ago. So that one is more fresh in my memory. And so I was getting confused about which homunculus was what and what did they do and how did they come about. I was like,
exactly.
Okay, I just need to rewatch the thing because it's been so long.
That's exactly right, because that's where I was trying to remember. I was like, wait a minute, which one? Because I knew they changed at least three or four of the homunculus. No, three. They changed three of them specifically, and added one we had never seen. And
it doesn't help that like the one of the homunculus appears in both of them, but has a different name in each one.
Yes, that's where I was getting at. Where one was Pride, but in the other he was Wrath.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was where I was getting confused. And then the fact that I forgot which one was Wrath, which one was Pride out of the new series. I was like, okay. But no, actually what should be fun is you and Joey should do a Full Metal Alchemist review series together. So he can need to finish the series because he never did.
I don't have time for all this stuff.
Yes, you do. You got one night a week. Other than this one. So do that show before this one. I
was writing my notes right up until basically the start of airing here.
Yeah, like I think I'm gonna try to start writing my notes on Thursday. Like I'm gonna sit down and watch the episodes and start trying to write the episodes on Thursday, so that we're not like doing it right up to the last second, you know. But we also didn't know if we were necessarily gonna do it tonight because of the Super Bowl, which we were up to 14 people not long ago. A lot of people popped in like at the end, so I'm guessing the game ended.
So not too bad for us. Not as spectacular as the season finale for Bill Divers.
No,
and that one was crazy if I remember correctly.
We had like almost 30 people at one point. But hey, when the new season starts in April, which hopefully we'll run this right into that in theory. We'll have to count our weeks and see what we have left. So we got 9 weeks. Will that get us there? Well, we don't even know exactly which week it starts. We just know it starts in April.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So April it could be the first week. It could be the last week. It could be in the middle.
Let's see here. Full Metal Alchemist / Brotherhood has so many jaw-dropping cliffhangers. It's at best when you forget. Or it's best when you forget it so that when you rewatch it. Yeah. But all right, guys. So thanks for watching, everybody who came to hang out with us and chat. We always appreciate you. And of course, stick around for hopefully next week where we do episode 5. If we start getting to the point where we can do double episodes and not have like a 4-hour long review, then it'll be good. When it's a quick episode, not a lot of dialogue or something happens, if there's big fights and stuff like that we can talk through pretty quickly, we might start doubling up. Or when we start running out of time and we're about to like butt up to Build Divers, we'll double up, stuff like that. Maybe we'll start a little earlier if we need to, just so we're not up all night long. But of course, guys, if you haven't, go subscribe to the Rodimus 13. He's down in the description as usual. And at this point, he's putting out very different reviews to me. He's working on other customs. I'm trying to get back in the swing of building regularly again after I kind of had that little blowout at the end of 2019. And of course, if you are a Patreoneer and you haven't watched the last Patreon pick video, go look. Also, I'll have more stuff coming up over there. And look forward to at least one Gunpla review and then more Transformers reviews coming up in the next couple of weeks on my channel. What do you got coming up?
It's probably not going up tomorrow, but I think by Tuesday I will have the long-awaited next video in the How I Do It series, where I go over painting.
Oh, okay.
Or at least
that's what you were working on.
Yep. I had started that series like over a year ago, and then just got sidetracked with all sorts of other projects. And the weather has been finally nice enough, and I finally had time to actually sit down and do some painting and finish up that video. So I just need to finish the editing on that and get it exported.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the weather right now because it cleared up after I was done painting. I was painting on that cold ass rainy day last week, but if I'd waited till the last couple of days, would have been no problem. But I was trying to get this thing done for Saturday, and then I didn't even go to the meet on Saturday, of which I needed to bring it. So, oh well. But guys, y'all have a great week, great night, great everything. Remember, as always, to keep on nerding, keep on building, and let's keep building up this community together.
And I'll see you the next time you invade my shelf space.
Go invade his shelf space, guys.
Peace.
And we're done.